I'm Rebecca Williford, and I am very excited to be here. For those of you that were at karaoke last night, or for those of you who are not at karaoke and wonder what the deal is with the plastic animals that are up here, and for the visual description, we have a series of river creatures and sea creatures. They are NALSWD power animals. The tradition started at Freddie's Beach Bar in DC at the first NALSWD conference, where they put fabulous little plastic animals in your drinks. So whenever NALSWD gets together, the plastic animals show up. I am sitting here with Rachel Langston.
Hi.
Rachel is a Skadden Fellow at the Employment Law Center here in San Francisco. And
she's actually a staff attorney now.
Oh, Rachel is a staff attorney. Rachel supervises Claudia's center at the Employment Law Center in San Francisco. No, actually, Claudia's center, to my left, directs the disability section of the Employment Law Center and does some wonderful work and has had some very exciting legal victories lately, and is just sort of your all-around rock star if you have employment bar questions in addition to sue. Claudia also helped me with my bar stuff, so she's awesome. And then to the left of Claudia is Carrie Griffin-Basas. Carrie is currently a visiting professor at my alma mater, the University of North Carolina School of Law, where she is teaching criminal law, disability law, and labor law. And here her students are currently, or were, organizing a coup or something against her.
Well, I told them when I went away to a job interview that if they organized a union in my absence, we could take a vote. I think it was on their final, or their terms and conditions of employment, even though I'm not paying them anything more than they're paying me, but they did file a petition. So they formed a union.
More on that later.
That's the solution to your accommodations needs.
And I'm a fellowship attorney in Berkeley at Disability Rights Advocates. We do impact and class litigation for all types of disabilities, and my work focuses on learning disability and autism, but I'm doing a little bit of everything. It's all very exciting. So we are here to talk about employment, disclosure issues, paths to employment, whatever you all want to talk about. And Rachel and I are. Yeah. You want to?
Well, hello everyone. I'm so glad that everybody's here this morning. Rebecca's done the introductions, but I wanted to talk just a little bit about what the panel will hopefully focus on today. As Rebecca said, I'm an attorney at the Legal Aid Society Employment Law Center, and I work in the Disability and Gender Equity Program. And a lot of my work has to do with assisting workers who have disabilities with their requests for reasonable accommodations, and also protecting those workers against any sort of disability-based discrimination. The topic of this morning's panel often arises in both situations. Would it be helpful for an employee to disclose their disability to their employer for one reason or another? In a situation where it would not be helpful, can disclosure be required? Especially where an individual has a hidden disability, disclosure may feel uncomfortable, unwise, or even unnecessary. Although disclosure can be difficult, this panel will discuss ways in which it might be beneficial to an employee or applicant with a disability. One common and substantial benefit to disclosure is the ability to receive workplace accommodations. While these accommodations are sometimes necessary to an employee's ability to perform her job, they can also function to protect her health, ensure that she is able to perform her position to her full potential, and even ensure that morale-boosting activities or other benefits to employment are equally available to her. Panelists will also discuss the how-tos of disclosure, including when to consider disclosing, to whom disclosure should be made, and how to most effectively disclose while still protecting your important privacy rights. So with that, I'll turn it over to our panelists. Whoever would like to maybe begin.
Everybody's looking towards the center.
Since all of you, or probably most of you, are still law students and you don't know where you'll be working or with whom, I want to take a step back for a minute and talk about what is the most sort of successful, fertile ground for a good working relationship, including any reasonable accommodations that you might need. And that situation is where there's a good match between the individual with the disability and the employer. And that is what I found in my own life, is where there was a good match. I was able to really succeed and really, even excel at times. When there wasn't a good match, my disability would become very active, there would be a lot of tension, and I really wasn't able to perform to my potential. So I want to talk about sort of when you look ahead, think about the match. The match is going to be really important, and when you have a good match, a good relationship, those accommodations are much easier to get. Now we can talk about accommodations in a situation where the match is a little bit less perfect, or maybe more challenging, and certainly there are ways to seek accommodation in that situation, and we'll talk about that. But I just want to focus on, all of you have strengths. It's so important that we have people with disabilities entering our profession. I'm so grateful to Sue and to Anna and Rebecca, all the people who put NALSWD together and who helped NALSWD. It's just really important because people with disabilities bring so much, just like women, people of color, people of different national origins, people of different sexualities. We bring something to the table. It's really important. So I think that you all should think about yourselves as having great strengths and great things to offer, and to try and figure out where will my greatness, be able to flourish. And that's the best environment. Now I know that's a little idealistic, but I just want you to think about match in terms of your needs.
Claudia, can you just scoot up to the mic a little bit?
Oh, sorry. Think about your match.
Just pull it towards you if you want.
Oh, sure. Think about the match, and that's the best place to seek accommodations. But I think there was a
I
question
was
here.
just going to clarify a little bit more what you mean by match. Like,
Well, I think it would really vary depending on the person. So for me, for example, I need a place that is very welcoming to being a little different, being a little weird sometimes, being up and down, and sort of a big room for expression and room for creativity. And I don't do so well with structure. Another person would probably love structure, clear assignments, that type of thing. So I'm not sure I can make it any more specific than that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Carrie, do you have anything to say on that?
About match, I'll build on match. I think match is really important. And I think you have to, you think early, you get a lot of advice early in your career that there's certain things you need to do. You absolutely need to do them, and you become indoctrinated in that way. And listen, our economy is terrible, and if anything, law school makes you more risk averse. And having a disability and having family members and people who love you, they try to pressure you into being more risk averse as well. And I would say that when you realize there isn't a good match, that you really do need to act on that to the extent that you can, and even if it feels risky. So I'm happy to talk about that, but there have been some situations in which I have found myself that have been poor employment matches, and people, I would still be there if I would have listened to people. But if you can find somebody who sort of gets it, who's an ally, who may not have the same situation that you do, the same sort of constellation of circumstances, who will encourage you to move forward and sort of act on your gut, in terms of that, that's really important. And sometimes, you don't know what match is going to be like until you get there. So you may think, oh my gosh, it's always the person or the entity that I don't want that wants me. Watch this is like dating. Terrible, terrible dating. This is my ugly date. I'm so glad we went out for coffee, but now they want to get married. And so it's totally like this. And it is like this for, I'm now out of law school 9 years this spring, and it's like that. But you get there.